Now on to, in a programme first shown in 1987, direction and inspiration from a master cellist. The works of Debussy and the man himself explored in our final celebration of Paul Tortellier.
In this series of masterclasses held before an invited audience of music students at the Royal Northern College of Music in Manchester, the great French cellist Paul Tortellier works with gifted young cellists who've been studying here and at other specialist schools of music. Tonight's programme features 2 cello sonatas. The second is by Tortellier himself. But to begin, music by a Frenchman of a previous generation, Claude Debussy. In 1915, 3 years before he died, Debussy started a projected series of 6 sonatas for various instruments. He lived to complete only the first 3, beginning with the cello sonata in D minor. Its 3 movements have a rather sparse and tragic character, in keeping perhaps with Debussy's original subtitle, Pierrot Angry with the Moon. The 2 young players are Sophie Harris and Richard Bamping. Sophie Harris is 23. She's been a pupil at Cheetham School of Music in Manchester and now continues her studies here at the Royal Northern College. Her teachers have included William Pleath, Stefan Popov and Emma Ferrand, who was herself one of the cellists appearing on Tortellier's previous masterclass series, televised in 1974. Richard Bamping is 18. He too is a Cheetham's pupil, having gained a scholarship at the age of 10, and he's been studying the cello there with Lisa Wilson. During a visit to Spain with the school orchestra, he entered the international cello competition at Murcia and won 2nd prize. He's very keen on chamber music and last year took part in a performance of the Mendelssohn Octet at the Purcell Room. The pianist is John Wilson.
Well, we are limited in time, excuse me. Bien, thank you very much, Sophie. 2 things most important. 2 things important. Technically, you have a mistake in your the vibrato of your first finger. You know it?
Yeah, it's a bit wild.
It not wild, you know, it sounds like a trill. Doesn't sound like a... When you do that, I hear a trill.
Yeah.
Do it. Yes, you are embarrassed, eh? To avoid it. Yeah, it's better. But vibrate. But no. Huh? It's because you have 2 fingers instead of 1 on the string. Probably to reinforce your first finger, you put the second next, but we hear it.
Yeah.
Bon, that's technique. The second thing is even more important. I see you play, but perhaps I am too old now because sometimes I don't even hear you. So pianissimo you play.
Yeah.
You go too much to this extreme of pianissimo. No, there are lots of piano that you can use without going to so far away. That is the second. I said two things. No, never two without three, we say in French. Jamais deux sans trois. Alors la troisième chose, c'est que you chopped this piece in this movement into pieces. It is perhaps the tendency of Debussy's music to be impressionist, as we called it, as we said it. I mean, the mood changed from bar to bar, changed very quickly. But there is an architectural line that must stay.
Yeah.
So if you go with Debussy's tendency, it's not good. If you like wine, don't go, don't help. Don't help the bottle. You see what I mean? No, Debussy is better to be played with a classical style, keeping the fantasy that you have. Perhaps it's nice to hear a little of you. Huh? I will not make you play all the thing because we wouldn't finish it, but at least a little. Directly, I think. Yeah. When he stops. Good. Lovely, lovely. I must say that I like this interpretation better. You too, eh?
Well, it's very nice. Yeah.
Yes, it's very nice. Because there is no rupture.
Yeah.
You exaggerate when you do. That is true. Because it is not, after all, it is not printed this way. Personally, I like it completely in one line. Why not? Because there must be a connection with the piano, you see? Have you noticed? Da, 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 da. He plays the silence. He feels the silence. But if you stop before, you understand? Clear? The beginning, very good. Now play ti da da di. The next one. Oui. Now you must breathe together. Breathing is very important. Huh? It is the music itself. Breathing. Breathe together. Play. You play yourself. Breathe. It's funny because both of you make a belly, make a this nuance. You make a souffle in the middle. And I don't think it is written this way. It is a full, it goes to the last note, but it is difficult to do. That's why you have. Now I try to show you. One was not quite right. I do it again. One of the four. It is difficult to push the tone and suddenly be in a gap, in a vacuum. Try to do that. Good for the technique, huh? We can't say that each note has its equal weight. Though there is a crescendo, each note has to be round, not half round. No, and not. We should hear no glissando since it is louré. We say in French, louré. So that is not louré. This is because of your bow technique, yes? Better. How difficult to push the crescendo until the last? No? Usually your D is louder than your E. Good boy. You try? Oh, too bad. Don't you hear it trill?
Yeah.
I'm glad, because I don't want you to think, you shouldn't think that I'm prejudiced against you. You hear it trill, huh? Bon, all right, you know that. Voilà. Dear Sophie, don't be angry with me. Are you? Because I tell you some truth.
No, I know.
It is always hard to take the truth. I had it sometimes. I was also hit sometimes by the truth. But the solution for you, first of all, is to remove this finger from the fingerboard. High, rather high, so that as long as you will keep it close, you will be in danger. All right? So, to sum up, let's have a shape in this movement. Huh? Let's have a shape. Now, the second movement is a serenade. Alors, serenade, that is Spanish. Ah. The second is different. It's a little slow. A little slow, because the first movement is slow. Now, if we have ta-ta-ti, it is again andante. The tempo is not really andante. My teacher, I have the great respect and love for my teachers. One of them, both, I had respect and love for both. But one of them did this. Instead, don't you like? Yeah. And I am pleased to say that this great teacher was Gerard Hecking. Gerard Hecking. There were two famous Hecking cellists in that time, 100 years ago. And Gerard Hecking was the best Debussy player. You know why? Perhaps because he was a painter. He was himself a painter. And Debussy is a sort of painter in music too. La mer, les nuages, really, that is poetry, that is landscape, and so, like the Impressionists. So this Hecking had a wonderful interpretation of this sonata. I am glad to bow to his memory now. Because without Hecking, I wouldn't probably have got this tradition. And not, we see, yapapi. We need papapi, yapapa, rhythm. He can do so well, this boy. No, we don't feel that you play the silence. The silence. We must feel. Beautiful. Good. Allez. That's that. Don't wait too long. Too loud. A pizzicat must be. Oh, otherwise, people don't understand.
When he asks you to do a completely different sort of bowing or pizzicato, different method of pizzicato, it's very difficult to sort of pick it up straight away. So it's a bit frightening, but if you just go for it, I found it was okay.
3, 4. What? Problem? What? Problem? Difficult. Very quick finger. Mocking. It is mocking. It is a lady who mocks a man. It is very French. Because There is a story in France. There is a story of Pierrot. Pierrot, you have heard of Pierrot Lunaire. Pierrot is a sort of unhappy hero, very unhappy. He's always in love with a girl, but she has scorn for him. So poor Pierrot, he's very pale. He has always put de riz, too very, yes. So, and she's just doing that to him.
I'm very interested in chamber music, really, especially string quartets and the string chamber music, basically. And I'd like to teach and do some solo work as well. I had to play the Debussy because it was selected, but I'm also interested in Russian music and modern music, quite a lot of modern music.
We are in tempo, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. You. Oh, we don't hear anything. Do you hear something? You hear something? Am I deaf? You hear that? Yes. Don't be too confidential. You see, in the theater, on a stage, if somebody doesn't articulate, doesn't project, it is not possible. So never shelter in this pianissimo. No. That is. Allez, 1. Yes. No, not enough. Tom, para, it is a theme. Tom, para. It is like glorious, hein? It is piano, but glorious. Voila, once more.
I think that his impression of the piece is very different from mine, but I'm sure that I will remember that because it's a much more overall feeling that he has about the music. And I mean, he's such a strong personality that it carries the music.
But not too slow, not too. It is already, look, very good. I must say that you play this good, with a Spanish allure. But when you play, 2, and you after 1, 2, you do 1, 2, it is too far. There must be a center, huh? There must be a center. We are out of this center. It will be enough to do. Largely enough.
What do you mean not to stop the notes?
Well, you do that way, as you like. I do this, so that you hear the chord. Yeah. Because this way, it's a little dry.
Yeah.
But it's a little too slow. It's a little too slow. You don't like that? Let your thumb go. Allez, 1 and 2. No, it's not in 4, it is in 2. You know, otherwise, bam, 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 bam. I hear 4 notes. No, I must have a line. Ram, pam, bim, bim. Voila. You agree, Richard? You agree? Thank you. Allez. Now, how could he play? Voila. How could he play? Yop, pop, pop, pop. This mocker again. Pop, 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 pop. If you play too slow, he play pop, 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 pop. It's like a peasant. No, you understand? Yeah. Pop, 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 pop. You hear what he plays? Play. Yeah. Pop, pop, pop. Tempo, tempo. Hey, don't be afraid. Pop, 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 pop. A baby has to come, you know. The mother is expecting the baby and the baby doesn't come. So it is a catastrophe for the medicine. Let it come.
I think it's a good piece to play to him because it's French and he obviously has a history of French teaching and studying passed down from Debussy probably himself. And obviously his comments are bound to be very valid on the piece.
Too much, a little too much. Because we are always like a bad driver, you know? You know what I mean? You have been, you get seasick with a bad driver because it's too slow, too quick. N'est-ce pas? Très bien. Good. That's it. Very good. Good. Madame Sophie, you have plenty of temperament, which is wonderful. Better to have too much than not enough. But only now, you have to put that in a frame. For instance, what you have done now was fantastic. Oh, frayeur, we say in French. How do you say frayeur? Comment dit-on? Frayeur. Oh, you did better than me. Do it again. I want to study that from you. Yes. Oh, it's wonderful, wonderful. That suits you. That suits you. Very good. Alors après, alors you finish. And you notice, ladies and gentlemen, it was a bad thing to say that Debussy had no architecture. It is fully architect. It is very solid. You see what she did? We find it again here. You see? You see, it is. You understand? Yeah. It is absolutely like a body. There is no head from one side and the legs are on another side. No. We find these themes, these motifs. That's why we must not go to the extreme in the tempo. Otherwise, people think it is a crazy music. Yeah. No, I'm very strong. It's not because I'm nationalist. You would do the same harm to Richard Strauss or Bach, I would be also angry. But you do a harm to Debussy when you really make a caricature. Caricature. It is unbearable. Now, I want to finish this piece for you now. 1, 2, 3. Disappear here, only here.
applause for Sophie Harris and Richard Bamping. To end the programme and this series of Tortellier masterclasses, we have a cello sonata written by Paul Tortellier himself. In his extraordinarily busy life, Tortellier has always found time to compose. 2 concertos for cello, 1 for violin, another for piano, a symphony and much more. His first published piece, a song, was in 1935. His most recent is Sonata Breve, completed in 1983. With his vivid pictorial imagination, Tortellier has made this short sonata highly programmatic, a musical portrait of the legendary horse Bucephalus. He was the favourite charger of Alexander the Great and can be seen today in this fresco, a horse apparently so highly strung that he would react to his own shadow. The final movement is a perfect encore piece, and just before we rejoin the masterclass, it's worth seeing Tortellier introducing it to a delighted audience at the Bath Festival.
As an encore, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to play the finale of my Sonata Breve, which subtitle is Bucephalus. It is dedicated to Prince Charles, and because it is a story of a famous horse, the horse of Alexander the Great. And I know that Prince Charles liked horses very much. Besides, Prince Charles plays the cello, and I think it was a good occasion for him. I must tell you, we played it for him in Kensington Palace one evening, and he enjoyed it very much, so I hope you will too. Just a little explanation. The first movement depicts, but you will not hear the first movement, so better. So the finale is called the Assault. It starts gaily because the horse doesn't know that he's going to battle. First, he's just trotting gaily. But he's thinking of his sweetheart also sometimes. A little romantic, this horse. Why not? And at the end, is coming the assault. Now he's going to war. And you know, I'm very sad to tell you, he's going to be killed at the end by the piano. Just a little more thing important. The last assault, the last page, I managed to make something, a gallop like that. And you know, but you know, it was wrong. I was said by Lord Porchester, who is a specialist because he has the horses of the Queen. He's in charge of the horses of the Queen. Lord Porchester. He said, no, the horse do not do. They do when they start. So you see, so it was already printed, so I beg every cellist to change this text.
Tortellier as composer, performer and raconteur. Here in Manchester, his sonata is being played by Christopher Hoyle and Oren Shevlin. Christopher Hoyle is a 21-year-old cellist who was a member of the National Youth Orchestra for 2 years before entering the Royal Northern College of Music, where he now studies with Raphael Sommer. In 1983, he won the award of South Yorkshire Young Musician of the Year. Oren Shevlin was born in Oldham, Lancashire, and began playing the cello when he was only 6. He's now 18 and studying at Cheetham School in Manchester and with Raphael Sommer. He's won a number of prizes and scholarships for outstanding performance and has already played this sonata for Tortellier at a masterclass held in France.
Yeah, very good, very good. Very difficult, you know, we must applaud him. It's good. Now, at once I must say that this is programmatic music. And you better know precisely the story. It is a story of the horse of Alexander the Great. The work is dedicated to Prince Charles, because I know he loves horses, and because he's a cellist. He was a cellist anyway. Alors, the story is important. It's important to know it, because this famous horse, which went through across history, since we still know the name of this horse, which was Bucéphale, in French, Bucéphale. I don't know how you pronounce in English, Bucephalus. Bucefalo in Italiano. Yeah. Bucéphale, let's say Bucéphale, was offered to the prince when he was not yet the great Alexander the Great. He was only 17, but he had problem to mount the horse. The horse was so good but so wild. Not only the prince, but nobody could master the horse. So it's good to know that when you play this first movement, because this is a fight, really, a big fight to how do you say, dompter, we say in French. The horse was indomitable. Voilà. Alors, you must have play very energetically when you start. It is wild, wild. And not too slow. So you know. Alors, I finish with this whole story, so that you know. There is a moment when Alexander understands that the horse is not bad, really. He is afraid. That's why he's wild. Just because he's afraid. Of what is he afraid? He is afraid of, you wouldn't tell, he's afraid of his shadow. Strange, amusing. So, Alexander managed to turn the horse so that he doesn't see his shadow. And that shows you the place where the horse is very surprised not to see any shadow, becomes very mild, very, very nice. Surprised, no shadow. Question mark, question mark. And now Alexander walks with him nicely, he walks, talking to the horse, like that, caressing the horse. Etc. Huh? Now you understand very clear. So be very relaxed. Very nicely. At the end, now the horse still rebukes. The horse sometimes he still sees his shadow again. So at the end, Alexander is a little tired about that. He's tired. So he gives a good kick to the horse. But not this way, because with the cello I cannot do that. So with the bow, a kick. We call it legno, you know. Alors, so we must really hear at the end, when you will reach it, you will play it after. When you reach the end, you play that with a good kick. And you see, the horse submits. Voilà. So perhaps the beginning a little quicker, huh? So that you have this fight. Just beginning. No, it is not. No, it is not abrupt enough. The two notes, the two quick notes. Pa-ta-la-da-da, tal-la-gram, tal-la-gram. Good. No, not yet piano. Is it written piano? No. No. Yes. All right, now you have the spirit. You want to play now this conversation between the horse and the, if I may say conversation, it's rather Alexander who talks. Yes? Ta-da-da.
I've had the piece for about 3 months, and I played it to Tortellier in France on a course given by my tutor, Raphael Sommer, and he more or less told me some of the things that he wanted then. So I had a pretty good idea of what to do when I came here.
Good? The piano, you play. You are Alexander there. All right, yes. Now we turn over. He's doing the walking of the horse. And you speak to him. More, yeah, start there. Allez, crescendo. Allez. Good. Bravo, messieurs. We applaud, I think. Don't break your bow, all the same. You can go. So perhaps we move to the second movement. The second movement is, let's say the story first. It is we will not go through perhaps, but at least the beginning. It is the rest of the horse. He has a weekend. The horse has a weekend. So he's far from his native country, the horse, because Alexander the Great, you know, went to Asia, he went to Persia, and so far, almost to China. So the horse is having a nice day in the sun. That's it. The beginning is just the brilliancy of the light, you know, when you do this flageolet in the beginning. All right, Misterioso, like the light coming through after the night, the light comes up, but not too sad. It is a little complaining. You can do very well. In this spirit, clear, but not too sad, not too sad. After, you want to do it? You want to try it?
Yeah.
Without not too many glissando. No, we need a good start. Like a ray of light, a flash. Now he will play. Yes, after. Voilà. You said too much. You said too much. Now you express your feelings. It should be neutral. It should be. A little mysterious, but calm like that. Not too much. Huh? Yeah. No problem. Yes. You try that, calm. You understand? The same as the beginning. Yeah, very simple. Now, first we need first a good syncopation. Pa. We need a good syncopation. More beau. Égal, égal. No nuance. Égal, égal. Even, even.
I think he's written the piece in a way to prove his new school of cello playing, and a lot of his new style is incorporated in the music. He does a lot of piano fingerings with the thumb and the little finger, and there's a lot of that in the music. It's almost written to show that off.
Voilà, light. No. A little sharper. Better, not harmonic. The flageolet is a little flat. Alors, now, the finale, better to say the story at once. Eh? You probably you heard of it, but I prefer to tell you myself. The finale is called the assault. My pronunciation is good. Assault, assault. The horse is going to war, yeah, but he doesn't know it. First, he leaves very gaily, is that? Happily, not too quick, comfortable, just trotting, the trotting of the piano. You hear the piano, huh? Yep. Voilà, exactly. Voilà, that's the trotting. And so you mount the horse, so it's easy. The character is easy there. Now, what is interesting is the second theme. The second theme is really a little romantic, because it is not forbidden for a horse to be romantic. And this one he's in love, but his sweetheart is very far away. So he's a little like that. Shall we play, to be sure? Yes? So you can play this place with tenderness. Tenderness is a very sentimental horse. Now, at the end, the moment comes the call for war. Papapi. Who has played more? He has played more? You played more? He has played more? All right. So, Owen, you play. And we'll join after. Alors, Gaily.
about the Bucephal, or Bucephalus in English, being afraid of his shadow, but I didn't know the piece is actually so complex musically that it's hard to find out where to put things, because so many things could fit into it. But I mean, I think that's really the greatest thing that he's brought across in my masterclass, the sense of telling a story. It has been a great aid, and I think most of what he said I'll take into account.
Sing. Think of your sweetheart. Yeah, it's good. I would be interested. It would be interesting to see how he takes that. Excuse me. To have that with. I'm pleased that you like the music. We cannot stop you. Oh, it's not nice. Yeah, play your solo. Play your solo. Yes, yes.
Just try and imagine him and all his facial expressions and theatricalisms, if that's the right word. I think there's a lack of it in teaching today, and too much of it is just orientated around the craftsmanship of child playing, not enough about music itself. A generalisation would just be the sheer enthusiasm which he has for his music. You can't do better than having a lesson on a piece by the composer himself, and I think that will remain in my memory.
Bad, not bad. Good. Just the end. Take your I show you how I play the end. That's better than any explanation is to play. Ta-ta-ti. Marcato. A little retardendo, not too much. Now, the hesitation. That is very important now. Start slowly. You must really feel. You see? It's slow, like a film. Is killed. Voilà. I had to say that. At the end, he kills me. Voilà. I hope he killed me well, yes. It's difficult to be together. You want to do that with me once? Yes, just the end. 2, 3. Allez.